New year, same season. Ozone, season 2. New year, same season. City stay frozen. Big apple pressure when you step in the ozone, man. Jets, Knicks, Giants, Pinstripes, orange and blue. Whole city locked in, yeah, they tuned in too. Press play, turn it up, yeah, the tone stay polling. If it's New York sports, welcome to the ozone. Welcome to the ozone. Same city, New Year, same pressure, new tone. New York, boys loud, it's the ozone. Yeah, New York outside again. New Year, same season. Ozone, season 2. Let's go.
You have entered the ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here. You guys officially enter the ozone. It's your boy Omar. And like I said on our social media platforms, this is why it's important you follow us. I am excited to talk about today's episode. I am excited to get into the topics because you know why? Somebody's been grilling. And you know who's been grilling? It's been the media of New York. It's been New York Twitter. It's been everyone in the tri-state area grilling. And you probably asking yourself, oh, what are they grilling? They're grilling beef. Pause. Because it seems to be the word of the week. Beef. Media's beefing with Lindor. Lindor's possibly beefing with Soto. Is there beef within the Knicks? Is the Knicks better without Jalen Brunson? Are the Knicks better without Karl-Anthony Towns? Are Jalen Rose and the Knicks beefing? I don't know. There's a lot of beef in the Yankees lineup. Pause, because they've been hitting bombs. Yes. But you know who's not beefing? Me and the best co-host of the business, super producer Dave. Brother, it's a new week. It's a lot of beef in this monologue. We might have to have a lot of pause censor sounds. But, brother, it's a new week. How we feeling?
Brother, what's today's date again at the time of this recording?
April 5th.
And we already got beef with the Mets?
We already got...
Do you know, like, there are some things that just, like, write themselves. Like, we didn't make this up, right? Like, I get it. Media maybe exaggerates it. They carry it. But, God damn it, we're April 5th.
Yeah. April 5th. April 5th.
So, I'm feeling good. We got some stuff to cover. Our Yankees are looking good, but there's stuff to cover there as well. The Knicks, and then we'll go into it.
We're approaching the final week of Knicks regular season basketball. We got so much to get into. But let's talk about them boys and queens first. This is the Amazing Rundown.
The Amazing Rundown.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man. It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby, let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
All right, y'all, this is the Amazing Rundown. This is where super producer Dave and I cover them boys from Queens. And as much as we want to talk about the baseball, and we will, as of this recording, the Mets this week has gone 3-3. Losing 2 out of 3 to the St. Louis Cardinals, but they have won 2 out of 3 so far against the Giants. And as we said, we're recording this Sunday morning, April 5th, so they will be playing the 4th and final game today. But what I do want to talk about, one is that you got this frustration with Lindor, and I feel like I didn't want to talk about it last week when we were talking about previews and stuff like that. You saw, and we'll get into this a little after, the whole Soto and Lindor, how they greeted each other. Whatever. But I think this thing now we have with fans being frustrated with Lindor, even to the most part of now certain fans wanting Lindor out of New York. There's a certain clown that does New York radio, and his name is Craig. I bet it your life saving. Sorry, only served 6 months in jail because I have a gambling problem. Carton. he goes out on his, he doesn't do it on the fan. He does it on his own personal podcast or whatever. And he seems to be like, hey, Lindor got to get out of town because of his wife's political views. He's causing up a mess. You got some people going on Twitter that, you know what? He got Brandon Nimmo traded. He got Alonso out of here, Jeff McNeil, because, of the rumors of politics. And then you get the series in St. Louis where he gets picked off when Soto's at bat, right when Soto's batting. So then people feel like he's doing that on purpose because of his rumored beef with Juan Soto. Then you get the situation where I believe it was 1 out. They had a tailor-made double play. He forgot how many outs it was. He tagged second base. He runs towards the dugout. And obviously it was a blunder. And now people are digging up, obviously, comments from when he made last year sometime, where he says sometimes, and I'm just paraphrasing, I'm not motivated, I'm not disciplined, I'm not motivated, I'm disciplined, motivation comes and goes. That's what he said. I believe it was sometime last year. And then you got Johnny Thunderbird. Johnny Thunderbird is, he's got some people follow him. Carl Banks, Giants legend, is a St. John's fan. He goes and tweets. It's obvious Francisco Lindor is the common denominator for all the Mets issues internally. It's not even for debate now. Never seen an organization that's so willing to put up with his teenage girl attitude of a star player quite like the Mets with Lindor. Well, let's just put it like this on those comments alone, because a lot of people seem to agree with those comments. Obviously, I'm not even gonna get into what Frank the Tank tweeted. Frank the Tank let's not talk about Frank the Tank, because if you know Frank the Tank, we might get canceled, brother. But let's just put it like this. Let's just address the superstar, whatever thing that Soto got going on. What superstar doesn't have some sort of special bias, some special needs or whatever that teams address? Every team does it with their stars. Last time I checked, you just signed the guy for damn near $700 million and you got him a suite for his family for every home game. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure Brett Beatty doesn't have that. I'm pretty sure Luis Roberts don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just eliminate that. Then you have the narrative of that Francisco Lindor got, obviously it's the known beef for Brandon Nimmo, and then some people said Pete Alonso, whatever. John Heyman, now take it with a grain of salt. John Heyman is also one of the most sensitive writers of all time. He blocked me on Twitter because I had an arson judge post and just tagged him. That's it. It was no profanity. It was nothing. He blocked me, brother, because I made an arson judge joke within my first week of Twitter. Remember, I was so excited. Remember, I sent in the group chat. I'm like, yo, I've been already blocked by somebody on Twitter. But he had said it was a BS story about the supposed split over politics. Multiple people say that they never heard either player, Lindor and Nimmo, talk about politics. I think right now, because of, and like I said, the Mets have won the last two as of this recording. I just think a lot of people, especially Met fans, because of two blunder, head-scratching incidents in St. Louis, and maybe not the fastest start Met fans wanted, I think they need something to gripe about, and I think it's Francisco Lindor. Obviously, Francisco Lindor, brother, has been here long enough now where the honeymoon phase is done. So there's no Pete Alonso to blame. There's no Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, because let's be honest, Met fans did steamroll Pete Alonso when things went left. They steamrolled Jeff McNeil. So now Lindor is one of the guys that's still, I guess, a core guy that's still there. Now they want to look at it like, you know what? He's the issue. He's the problem. He needs to get out of Queens. What's your thoughts?
Brother, I'm really annoyed by this because a lot of this stems from and feels, or how about this? I'll say this. It feels like that a lot of this aggression And wanting Lindor out has less to do with his baseball, which I get it. Making a mistake is making a mistake, and you don't want to see that, especially from guys who lead your clubhouse. But a lot of this frustration feels like it's targeted because of his political views or his wife's political views. And I feel like that just makes it an easier target for some of these people. And for the people
especially
who
Craig
always
Carton's
say,
comments, Craig Carton's
yes,
comments, especially
yes,
him. But you are right.
yes.
Yes.
So what bothers me about this is that from the same people who always say keep politics out of sports, right? This is what they always say. You can disguise it however you want to do it, but we can see it because it's brought up. The politics is brought up somehow. There's a storyline about, like you said, with Nimmo. Before, the reason he's not there no more is because of that. It annoys me because anybody's entitled to make a mistake. Aaron Judge made a mistake in the World Series, and we gave him flack for that. That's fine, right? Mm-hmm. But he's had his time. Mm-hmm. We moved on. People make mistakes. The greatest of the greats make mistakes. Now, I'm not saying Lindor's the greatest of the greats, but he's been a core piece of that Mets clubhouse for several years at this point. You can't want to run the guy out of town because he makes a simple mistake. Don't get me wrong. Yes, did he lose the did they could have gotten out earlier? Yes, fine. They could have made a double play on that. But it doesn't, like, the writing on the wall that this isn't going to be a fun season if this continues for Lindor, because it's just going to be added on top of that. And I just wish that the same people who had the same energy for keeping stuff out of sports would do the same.
Look, the thing is, you're absolutely right. I think, and like I said when I cut you off, was that, yeah, especially when you got guys like Craig Carton. Like Craig Carton, he literally made it about Francisco Lindor's wife, obviously her political views. However, what it is, we're not going to get into that. If you want to look into that, that's public. You can check for yourself. But you're right. I think, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the Knicks. Like I said, I just think the honeymoon phases with Lindor has already weared off, and now Met fans need somebody to blame, pick fun of, or because they're not going to do it with Soto. Soto is the golden child. Soto is still the brand new toy. You saw it with Bo Bichette. You know what I mean? They gave Bo Bichette some crap, and it just took a couple games. Bo Bichette's been rocking with the Mets. We look at Francisco Lindor's numbers, and you go, okay, you want this guy out, Met fans? You want to be so much on your high chair that you want Francisco Lindor out? Let me just put it like this. Francisco Lindor is hitting 260, 773 hits, 141 home runs, 445 RBIs, 510 runs, and scores 510 runs scored in 767 career games with the Mets. In his first year, he played 125 games, and he had 20 home runs. 161 the following year, 26 home runs. 160 the year after that, 31 home runs. 152, 33 home runs. 160, 31 home runs. And so far, in 9 games and 32 at-bats, he's had 5 hits with 2 triples. And he struck out 7 times right now. He struck out 7 times. But at the end of the day, Francisco Lindor has been a mainstay in your offense. You're going to need that man. So as much as you miss Brandon Nimmo, and people are overreacting because Brandon Nimmo's having a hot start in Texas. Look at how Baltimore's, and I love Pete Alonso. Look how much Baltimore right now is raving about Pete Alonso. Right now, they're calling that guy the next Chris Davis. So my thing is this: I think this is blown way out of proportion. I think because of the not so fast start for the Mets, I think people want to just pick on Francisco Lindor, and I think it's wrong. And yes, am I a little biased in this argument because I am a fan of Francisco Lindor? 100%. I am. I don't care. I'm not one to say it. But you're going to need him, especially when you had a situation this past week where you had an injury scare with Juan Soto. Because Juan Soto did have a calf strain injury in San Francisco where he was pulled out. And let's just be honest, it didn't look good initially. Now, news have come out that it wasn't as bad as they thought. Right now, as of this recording, Juan Soto is not going to be on the IL. They will take it day to day. Now, I don't know when he plays. He could be playing today. He could be playing, you know what I mean, for all we know. But that's good news for the Mets. But that's a reason. That should be a reason why you should not want Francisco Lindor out. Because if you have something like that, where Soto goes down or somebody goes down, you're going to need a guy like Francisco Lindor. And I'm pretty sure, like you said earlier, Brother Howard, this is just the first week and Met fans are already going crazy. I'm pretty sure when my man gets hot in April or whatever in May, those comments all go to bed and them tweets get deleted.
I'll say this, brother. I think as we continue to move on, is Lindor a concern at this point of the season? I'd say not yet. Not yet.
I don't
Is he
think he's
officially
even
on the watch
close.
list?
It's April 5th.
Is he on the watch list? Yeah, it's April 5th, but is he on the watch list? Yes. Let's note this. Let's see what we're looking like at the end of May, and have a real judgment on what his season is looking like. If we're still having this conversation in 2 weeks, then I believe it's a problem. But let's give it time. Let's actually see things play out. It's been a full week of baseball. That's it. That's all we got. That's the sample size that we have, and we want to get the guy out of town. Just give it some time. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, before we wrap up with this segment, the Mets do go back home, so they're gonna get a little bit of home cooking. Guys, let us know in the comments below what you think about this whole Francisco Lindor situation. But brother, I want to ask you one more question. Right now, like I said, there's been rumors that Lindor and Soto do not get along, and you got some video out there. I posted it on the Ozone the other day. They had the opening day. Everybody greets each other, handshake, hug, bam, bam. Lindor Soto felt very much like a work relationship. Handshake, and that's like, all right, cool, whatever. You think that's an issue?
Meh. You don't have to like the people you work with.
That's my thing.
You don't have to like the people you work with. You just have to get your job done. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Look, a lot of people want to say that Lindor is jealous of Soto and that situation, and my thing is, look, does star athletes have ego? 100%. Are some egos bigger than others? 100%. But at the same time, you're gonna sit there and tell me that both players want to lose, both players want to sabotage each other's career. Maybe that might be the case if they're on different teams, but why would they want to do that on the same team? You know what I mean? We've just learned many years later, because you can see their relationship now, that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen didn't get along much. That didn't stop them from winning 6 titles. Kobe and Shaq, last time I checked, hated each other when they played with each other. They won 3 titles. It doesn't matter, like you said, brother. It doesn't matter if you like the person you work with. Like, if that's the person that you want to go have dinner with after the game, I could care less. But if y'all both hitting 30, 40 bombs and y'all hoping us win, that's what matters to me as a fan. It doesn't matter to me whether, it's the cherry on top that, yes, my 2 best players get along and they like each other. Of course, that's having the cherry on top. But at the end of the day, if my Sunday is still good without the cherry, then I'm still eating it up.
It don't affect me. It's not my personal life.
Me. Still getting fat. Still getting fat. Their winning affects your personal life. Well, not your fandom, I guess, but it affects your life because you're winning, and that's all that matters. Whether Juan Soto had a stake with Lindor doesn't matter. That's not on the win column or the loss column. But speaking of relationships, brother, we got to talk about the team that plays downtown Manhattan, because there's a delusional fans on that side. And most of them are because they are Met fans too. That they're trying to stir up some stuff between 2 star talents on the team. We're getting close to the playoffs. So let's get into it, y'all. This is This Week in Knicks.
This Week in Knicks.
All right, y'all. This is This Week in Knicks. This is where we cover our New York Knickerbockers. And the New York Knicks, as of this recording, have won. They've played 1 game since. They already have been played 2, but since we've recorded, obviously they lost the Rockets on Wednesday, which was no, they actually won 2 games. My bad. They lost to the Rockets on on Tuesday. We recorded Monday. And then they came back and beat Memphis, and then they beat Chicago. And as of this recording, we don't know if they played. We don't know if they're going to beat Atlanta, because the big game in Atlanta against Monday, and we're going to get into that a little later. about the significance. Maybe not significance. Yeah, maybe we could say significance. Which word is more intense, brother? What would you say? Importance or significance? I want to use the lesser word. Maybe importance.
Importance, yeah. Significance,
Yeah,
yeah.
importance.
Importance.
Yeah, Yeah, right. Because significance would mean it has some sort of ramifications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Safe to say? Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
say importance. But let's get into these last two games, brother. The Memphis Grizzlies, I want to talk about that, and the Chicago Bulls. And you're probably asking yourself, the viewers are probably asking, why the hell you want to talk about those games against two G League teams? And you're probably right. Any other time, I probably would just cone over it, brother. The Knicks won. It is what it is. But there was two narratives that came out after each game. One, let's talk about the Grizzlies. Obviously, Jalen Brunson didn't play, ankle management, sort of thing. So that brought up the narrative of the Knicks' success in way they play without Jalen Brunson. And we never addressed it here on the Ozone, but brother, you're active on Twitter. I'm active on Twitter. Follow us on our handles right above our pictures here. There's been narrative that's been creeping, not by all Knicks fans. It's very minimal, but by some Knicks fans that have a decent following of them slowly turning on Jalen Brunson. Slowly pushing more the narrative of not only Brunson being a ball-dominant guard, but a ball-dominant guard that's staggering the flow of the Knicks' offense. That's been slowly becoming a thing. And then you get Wednesday's game against Memphis where he didn't play. Yes. Did Towns have a more aggressive game? Yes. Did Mikal Bridges have a more aggressive game? Yes. The ball move a little bit more. Yes. But then now you get the narrative of, do the Knicks play better basketball without Jalen Brunson? And let me start by saying this. Hell no. If you are a Knicks fan and you are listening to me right now, and I want to shout out to all of you guys for getting us to over 200 subs, and let's now move to 250. You can stop watching this damn show if you think that the Knicks are better off without Jalen Brunson. Because you on drugs, and your close one should have an intervention and get you some damn help. It's just that simple. If you think this team is better off without Jalen Brunson, you are on drugs. We talked about Francisco Lindor in the honeymoon phase. I get it. This is year 4 of Jalen Brunson. Does Jalen Brunson have his flaws? 100%. I said this weeks ago, brother. I think I said this. If you expect Jalen Brunson to be Jason Kidd, you are wrong, my friend. You are wrong. Look, this team is not better off without Jalen Brunson. Brother, how many NBA games have you watched where your team plays against a team where the star player's out and you go, wow, that should be an easy win. And for some reason, that team plays better. Why? Because just the ball moves around more. Because on every team, the star player takes the most shots. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, to your point right there, like the ball has to move better. The ball has to. The game planning is different. If the star player is not there, there's certain things that these guys cannot do. I don't expect Mikal Bridges, OG, or Towns to ever play like Jalen Brunson. I just don't. That is not their game. That is not in their bag. So the fact is that the fans here are talking about, well, when Brunson's not on the court, look at how they move. You want to do that? Then let's do that with the Lakers. Let's get rid of LeBron. They move so much better without LeBron, right? But right now they're dealing with no Luka. Like,
Right.
This is the things that like get me upset about fans because they're just chatting. And this is the problem with everybody having an opinion and everybody can see it. I don't mind that you talk to your boys and you talk about like, yo, Jalen Brunson's not looking good, right? It's when you put your thought out there and you think that you are 100% correct because you watched the game, you're an expert, you know exactly what's going on. We're not. If we were, we would be getting paid for this.
At the end of
Every
the
single
day,
one of
right?
us.
And I'll be honest, I gotta correct you there, brother, because not that we'll be getting paid, because then that's giving too much credit to guys like Stephen A. Smith who say some dumbass shit. But we're at the end of the day, yes, we're all fans, but we all watch the game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, you're right. I think it's, and I could be contradicted because I just called people drug addicts that said who did their better without Jalen Brunson. But you're right. People take their opinion, their one opinion, their stupid opinion, because just because you have an opinion doesn't make it right or logical. And people go out and they put it they take it out as gold. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And it's slowly becoming like you know, I know CP, the franchise, have said this. I know some people have said this, the Jalen Brunson supporters such as us as well. That, you know, this was bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Look, it's happened with Aaron Judge. I feel like it really happened with Aaron Judge a lot in the World Series, where you got even Yankee fans now starting to turn on Judge. He's not clutch, blah, 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 this and this, yada, yada, yada. And now you're seeing it with Jalen Brunson. We saw it with Carmelo Anthony. They did it to Patrick Ewing. They did it to Stephon Marbury. They did it to a lot of these players. You know what I mean? But right now the Knicks are not a better team without Jalen Brunson. And if you think that, I'm telling you, you should get checked out. And then this is the thing that happens, right? It's the narrative of that. But then you get Chicago's game. And then those same people who were saying the same thing about Brunson, that this team plays better without Brunson, Chicago, they played without Cat. And the Knicks looked dominant. OG was a lot more aggressive. Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson had double digits assists. Does that mean we're better without Karl-Anthony Towns? Didn't hear that. You know what I mean? So it's like you're going against lesser teams. At the end of the day, if the Knicks want to get to a finals, win a championship, they will need all hands on deck. They're going to need Jalen Brunson. Yes, does Jalen Brunson have to find ways to get Cat more involved? Yes. Does Cat need to be more aggressive? Yes. Shoot, does OG need to be aggressive? Does OG have to limit his turnovers? Yes. Does Mikal have to hit his open threes? Yes. Everybody, this needs to all click if they want to win. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, this narrative of that, like, oh, the team is better without this guy, the team plays better without that guy, or whatever. They're not going to win. Take Jalen, oh, Lord, God forbid, we play a playoff series without Jalen Brunson. See how that goes. And ask me, Knicks fans who think we play better without Jalen Brunson, how confident you'll be playing in a playoff series without Jalen Brunson. At the end of the day, this team needs all hands on deck if they're going to win. It's just that simple. And that leads to this situation, this narrative that Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson may not be getting along or whatever the case may be. I personally, I'm going to be honest, does this Cat body language sometimes maybe allude to that? Sometimes. There's sometimes with Cat's on the bench and his body language just looks like he's not as engaged with the team as you would like, even as we seen last year. You saw the rumors, not the rumors, but the reports that, you know, the team was frustrated with Cat earlier in the year where he was always hitting the deck, therefore putting the Knicks at a disadvantage, playing 5-on-4 on defense. Josh Hart is kind of right, like you saw some comments made by Mikal. But look, at the end of the day, I think, like as you said, brother, about Soto and Lindor, I don't think it matters whether they get along or not. I think it matters whether they respect each other and play well on the court. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? We've already given examples of teammates that may have not seen eye to eye personally, but they've had success professionally. That's what I care about. That's what I care about.
Brother, this relationship, it's not broken. I'll say this. It's just not perfect. It's just not perfect. And that's fine.
Name me the one that are. Right?
Exactly. The only thing is that what we want to see is I don't care. Cat is very, like you said, body expressive, very like animated with the way he does things. Do I take that as a sign of what things are to be? No, I take his play style, his play to be more of what exactly is going on. And when Cat's on the floor, mostly he's dominant. The only thing I get pissed off is the plays that are called for him. That's the only thing I hate, and that's more of a coaching issue than it is the player. Um, I just think that people need to pump the brakes and try to make this more than what it is, because it feels like people are trying to also drive a wedge. And it's like you would think that this should be kumbaya, everybody wants to support this team, but it feels like the narrative is that they want to drive this wedge in between them. And I would hope that this is the time when the players do get together and be like, like we said, you don't have to like me. That's fine. Let's just get this job done, what we're here to pay to do. That's all I want to see.
100%. And I just want to, I know I mentioned Mikal Bridges' comments, and I want to read them really quickly. He said, "We got a lot of talent. We just got to share the ball, play off each other, try to make the right reads. Just learning. We know JB, meaning he's referring to Jalen Brunson, guys, really skilled. I don't feel like as a player, knowing how great a talent he is, every time he has to give it up. I don't believe that. His skills are undeniable. I think our offense and trusting that everybody else can make plays and don't have to make it too stagnant for one person makes it easier for the other teams to guard us." Look, is there truth in those comments? 100%. But I think what, and I hope that the Knicks find a way to figure it out, and they only have less than a handful of games to do that by the playoffs, is have that balance. I felt like they had it last year a little bit towards the playoffs. Have that balance of, yes, I think, and that falls on Jalen Brunson, that falls on Mike Brown, that falls on everyone. Have that balance where guys are getting the touches, getting involved. But at the end of the day, you got the closer. You got the closer. You got the most clutch player in the league, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson's going to do his damage. And at the end of the day, we're going to need him to do his damage, but we're going to also need all the other guys to step up and do their part if you want to make the NBA Finals. Because apparently that's been the narrative for a lot of Knicks fans. And I will be honest. I don't want to say I didn't say. I probably did say it in our Knicks season preview. I can't recall if I did, but it's finals or bust. So I want to talk about that because Mike Brown on the telecast, the Knicks and Bulls game, he mentioned something in regards to that. And he said, there are many Knicks fans, many in the media and in the organization who feel the season would be disappointing if the Knicks don't make a finals. Blows me away. Championship is goal, but just remember where this franchise was before Leon, Julius, Tibbs, Brunson. It's easy to forget. And I get it. And I want to say this. I know some people been, as much as we love Mike Breen, there's some people who feel like, well, no, you should have these expectations. I'm going to be honest. Look, I do have an expectation for this team. Do I think people underevaluated the Eastern Conference? Yes. I think that ties into real expectations you have for the Knicks. I think a lot of people assume because no Tatum, no Halliburton, that the East was going to be a cakewalk. Obviously, Detroit, much skilled this year. Teams have gotten better. We've looked at it. You can look at the records. The Eastern Conference is a better conference than the West. It's a lot deeper than the West. I'm not making that up. You can check the records for yourself. But I do think that Mike Breen has a point. There's a lot of bro, I never forget it. There was a post, like a ChatGPT post they predicted the next 20 titles, right, brother? And the Knicks were like 2026, 2027, and then there was other teams. And there was some. I'm not gonna shout her out because I actually like her Knick content. I'm not gonna shout her out, but I would like to think that she's a new Knick fan, and she's young. She's in her 20s, whatever. People are probably gonna figure it out, but she put, wow, just one title. Nah, I want 2 or 3, and I'm like, everybody, most Knick fans was like, bro, you know how much struggle we've been through? My man, I will take one, gladly take one. And you out here trying to talk multiple titles? Dog, what? Have you, like, what? You know what I mean? So, like, I think a lot of new Knicks fans, because they got in, yes, they got in when we struggled. Maybe they got in during Melo's final years with the Knicks, and then that led to dark, dark days. But I've witnessed 2 eras of dark Knicks basketball growing up. Because I've witnessed the era after Sprewell in 2002 through the Marbury years, where we made the playoffs once, got swept by the Nets, had some fun with Amari and Melo, and then dark days again. So it's like, I know where this franchise have come from to what we are now, that it's a privilege to have expectations. It's a privilege to have expectations for your team, brother. It really is when it comes to fandom. But I also get the other side where people go, well, you know what? It is championship or bust because you know what? You pulled the trigger on Karl-Anthony Towns. You pulled the trigger on OG Anunoby. You traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. You don't make those moves if you're not championship or bust. So I do get that side. Although I lean more towards Mike Breen's comments, I do understand why people disagree. Brother, what's your take?
Brother, I don't disagree with Mike Breen's comments. But had it been said maybe a year or 2 ago. And I say that only because...
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
At this point, we are championship or bust, right? Like, at this point, this team has been constructed to be championship or bust. You ran it back. You decided to change your coach. You decided that was the deciding factor. That was the reason that we didn't get to the finals. So we're at this point right now. There was a point at last week that we had the same record with Mike Brown that we had with Tim Thibodeau, sorry. But
Tom Thibodeau, you had it right the first time.
Tom. Who's Tim Thibodeau? I'm thinking of like Fairly Odd Parents. There's somebody named Thibodeau in there or something like that. Not Thibodeau. Oh, whatever. Oh, the point is that expectations are championship or bust. This team needs to win a championship this year. It's going to be considered a failure otherwise. If this was a team that was
win
being
a championship or make the finals?
Make
That's
the finals.
2 different
My bad.
things. Okay,
Make the finals.
all right. No,
Make
we
the
got to
finals.
make that clear because they will get on you, super producer. They will get on you, brother.
Make the finals. But honestly, the finals is, I believe, at this point has to be the bare minimum, right? I feel like because of the way that this year has been set up, the way that the Knicks constructed themselves, the bare minimum has to be to make the finals because of all the expectations. Winning the finals is a different beast. Against the teams that you'll play against is a different beast. I just believe that the comments isn't bad. It's just the timing, and the Knicks have to do more than just make the playoffs, make the finals. Like, I feel like that's the goal. That is a complete goal. Make the finals and hopefully win us one, so I can put a banner up to like, oh my god.
Look, yeah, look. You're right. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, I don't think anyone is wrong on what side they're on what side of the aisle they're on. Whether you agree with Mike Breen's comments, I think a lot more people lean towards your comments, brother, because those are valid points. You made those moves, especially the firing of Tibbs, showed that you thought this was the furthest we can go with Tibbs, which was the Eastern Conference. What's further than that? The NBA Finals, possibly winning it all. So no, you're right. I think the Knicks' actions show that. I just think also Mike Breen is talking from watching this team for so long and still in that stage. And I'm still partly in that stage as well as bro, I'm just enjoying the fact that we have expectations because I've witnessed so much leaner years. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I should change my mind and have more of that. No, we need to make the finals. And I feel, and I have a part of it is that way, but I'm not just fully on that because I'm also appreciative. I never forget when we won 54 games with Carmelo Anthony in 2013. I remember Alan Hahn. He was on ESPN at that time in the evenings, and he would always say, Knicks fans, enjoy because you never know when this run is going to be over. And I would think like, yo, you know what? He's right, but I never thought that the Knicks would just hit, fall off the cliff after that season. And they did. They never made the playoffs until Tom Thibodeau came back. So it's like I'm still in that stage of like enjoying it, but you're right. You're right. If this was 2 years ago, those comments are 1,000% true because that's how we felt when we played Cleveland. Like we weren't supposed to make it far. It's like we didn't have expectations. Now there's real expectations to make the finals that, you know, some people are not having fun because of those expectations. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fans
Well,
are not
and
viewing the game in a fun manner because of those expectations.
that's the other thing. Like, brother, you're a lifer. You've been a Knicks fan way longer than I have. I think it's only been 15 years actually that I've been a fan because I joined the day
Yeah, but
Melo joined was the day I became a fan.
that's pretty long. But then again, you're right.
It's
Like
long.
Melo came in 2010, so yeah, it's been that long. Yeah.
2011. So it's
Wow.
just like it's been such. For me, it's just all right. What I've seen, what we've got to, the moves that have been made, the teams that have won championships, it's all the things that have been done around and what I observed, and that's how I come to my conclusion of like making the finals has to be the thing. And I get it from your side because you've seen everything. You've seen the Ewings. Maybe you were a little bit younger, but you remember seeing that. You remember seeing the Spreewells. You remember seeing the Marbury. You remember seeing Mello. You remember seeing the dark days of lineups that you're just like, oh my God, I never want to see this lineup on my TV again. And to the days that we have now with Thibodeau and Brown. I get it, brother. I truly do get it from your side and how you can side with a Mike Breen. But I also can see it as a just like on my side where it's just like, you have to get it done. You don't make those moves unless you want it. Like this is not this. The goal is obviously championship, and I keep going back to that. But the goal is championship. That's it.
It should be. It should be, and I think the Knicks should embrace that. You know, I think like as I touched on, I think I really do think it's a privilege to have expectations. You know what I mean? Because that means you're doing something right. If you have some sort of championship expectations for your team. Before we wrap up this segment, though, brother, we are approaching the final week of the NBA season, and we will talk next week's episode. We'll preview all Knicks guys. So unless there's something catastrophic between the Mets and the Yankees, we may not cover it. But that's why it's important that you follow us on our social media platforms. Because of that, next week's episode is going to be solely on the Knicks and the NBA playoffs. Brother, quickly, I want to talk about the matchups right now. As of this recording, April 5th, the Knicks are lined up against the Toronto Raptors. Excuse me. I think it's safe to say, obviously, we're a game and a half against Cleveland. So the Knicks, I don't think we're going to catch Boston, unfortunately. We're 2.5 behind Boston. And right now, Boston's schedule doesn't give me any inkling that they would be losing before we play them. Obviously, Detroit has clinched the number 1 seed, so that's out of the question. Cleveland is still a game and a half, so in essence, they're 2.5 games behind us because we own the tiebreaker. You're looking at teams like Atlanta, Toronto, and possibly Philadelphia that we can play in the first round. As of this recording is Toronto. Brother, how are we feeling about a Toronto first round matchup?
I'm fine. I think we can handle them in the 6 and, playing at home most of those games too. I think we got this. I have no problem playing against that team. We get to see RJ, right? So we're going to see those comments of like RJ and how people feel about him and quickly. But I feel good in that matchup.
Who would you want to see out of the 3 between Atlanta and Toronto? I'll even put in Charlotte because Charlotte is a game and a half behind Toronto. Out of the 4, Atlanta, Toronto, Philly, and Charlotte. Who would you want to?
Can I use my bias in this one?
Oh, you think Orlando?
No, I want to use 76ers. I want to put Embiid to bed. Put him to bed.
Man, I was watching KFTV the other day, and CP wanted that matchup too. He had some guy on that he was scared to play Philly. Like what? Like he's like, oh, because they have. I'm paraphrasing. That they have, if healthy, they have the most talent. Not like, oh no, he said the most skilled, something like that. Like I said, I'm paraphrasing. Listen to KFTV for that. But let's just put it like that. He was scared to face Philly. Like Philly was on the bottom as far as like most to least excited to play. And then CP's like, bro, I don't care. Bring Philly, blah blah blah. And then he kind of talked him into it, and he agreed. But some people want that, bro. Some people want us to put the final knife in Philly. You know what I mean? I would say this: I am not afraid to play either of the four teams. I think stylistically, I would probably want to play Toronto. I want to play the team that's going to be the less physical, the least physical team.
For the next
I think
matchup.
yeah, because I think if you play Atlanta in the first round, it's gonna get physical with Tyson Daniels, with those guys. I think with Philly it will be the same. Edgecombe, Kelly Oubre, they're gonna hack the crap out of Jalen Brunson. I think giving our success against Toronto, I think matchup wise, we just match up so well with them. I don't look at Toronto as a physical team. And like I said, like we said, Boston swept us, and look what happened last year in the playoffs. So I don't want to automatically think that's an automatically win for Toronto, but I just think it's the most least physical matchup. And out of the four, I wouldn't mind Toronto, but I'm not scared of though Philly, and I won't knock anybody who has the same sentiment as you, brother, that are playing Philly is something that they want. Because hey, I don't mind putting the final death straw on Joel Embiid either. So let's see. But Knicks fans, let us know in the comments below what you think about this whole situation with the Knicks expectations. Is Mike Breen correct? Is he right about his opinion when it comes to the Knicks finals or bust? Comments. Let us know in the comments below. But brother, we got to talk about the team in the Bronx because right now, as of this recording, they got the best record in baseball. They're playing some good baseball, and hey, we got to show them some love. So this here is the Pinstripes Report.
The Pinstripe Report.
All right, y'all. This is the Pinstripes Report. This is where we talk about the Bronx Bombers, and right now the Yankees they're good. Hey, look, man, they're doing everything well right now. As I said, as of this recording this week, the Yankees are 5-1. They're going to be wrapping up their final game against the Marlins, where they're going to be looking to sweep the Marlins right now. And the Yankees right now look, man, they're playing some good baseball right now. They're getting in on all parts right now. They're pitching right now. Their hitting is getting there. Obviously, hot starts to Giancarlo Stanton. I was going to say Greg Bird, to Ben Rice, Aaron Judge. The average is a little lower than expected, but obviously, at the end of the day, we're still only 8 games in of this recording. But Aaron Judge still has, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 7 hits in them 8 games. Jazz Chisholm, a little slow start for Jazz. Obviously, we talked about Ben Rice being hot. Giancarlo Stanton is on fire right now. Giancarlo Stanton even stole the base. He's scoring from second to home. What is going on with Giancarlo Stanton? When you look at the pitching has been dominant. The bullpen's been dominant. Outside of Camilo Duvall, which I'm a little concerned about that because he is a guy that the Yankees do need. And the Yankees look into playing a pivotal role in this season. Look, he's the setup guy. You know what I mean? To Bednar. So I'm gonna need him to pick it up a little bit. But overall, man, the Yankees are playing some fun, good baseball. And what's your thoughts, brother? What's your early thoughts on the Yankees so far?
Brother, pitching. My pitching is amazing. At this point,
Yeah.
yes, it's early season, and I feel like you made a comment about this last week. Early pitching is not something to judge the whole season on, but at the end of the day, right now we're first in wins, we're second in ERA, we're first in saves, we're first in runs scored against. So we've only allowed 15, 2 home runs allowed, and 17 walks. All first place in each one of those, and second in errors. So we're not making a lot of mistakes out there. that is the kind of baseball that we want to see from this Yankee team, especially a Yankee team that's expecting to get 2 more aces on that mound.
Coming back.
So,
Yeah.
so this is the kind of things that I'm just like, I'm loving. I'm loving, and I wish this could stay sustainable. Now, don't get me wrong, we're gonna get those dog days of summer where we're gonna probably hate the Yankees for a week, but this is what you want to see the season start off with. And you brought up another one, Giancarlo Stanton. This is the Stanton that we want to see throughout the season. You don't have to, like, you only have one job. You have one job, and it's literally to hit. And if you're playing like this, it makes everything else better. You help pick up the slack that other people that are not doing. You mentioned Judge and his average. That's going to pick up at some point. I'm fully confident. I'll put $100 on that right now, brother. He will get that average up by the end of this month. But this is the kind of sustainability that I'd love to see. Is it possible? I don't know, man. Let's just play it out. We're playing against some other teams too. The Marlins have a better record than I thought they would, so that definitely plays into it as well. And you played against the Giants to start the season.
They played well against Seattle, and Seattle was a team that made the American League Championship Series. There was a game they blew the game in Game 7. They could have very much been in the World Series last year. Look, I agree with you. I think if there's anything that we could say about this Aaron Boone Yankee era, the Yankees have always had hot starts. Obviously, not to this degree, but the Yankees have always been hot starts. It always seems like the Yankees seem to show that fatigue in the summer. That's where the Yankees always do that. At the end of the day, it's a saying in baseball, you can't win the division in April, but you could lose it. And right now, the Yankees are at least playing really good baseball. And we haven't seen like them at their full capabilities. You got guys like Trent Grisham that's starting a little slow. Jazz has started a little slow. But what I did like, and I saw it in the Marlins game on Saturday, it's a lot of situational hitting, a lot of when guys are in scoring position, getting the fly ball, not relying on the home run. I seen Aaron Judge now take the ball opposite field. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to see. I want to see guys go from first to third on base hits. I want to see guys score from second to home on base hits. That's what the Yankees need to do. That's what the Dodgers made fun of the Yankees. As you touched on, brother, the errors. We're not making much errors. We're playing better defensively. We're playing fundamental baseball. And I felt like that's been the knock on the Yankees in recent years. They're just relying on the home run and them not playing efficient defensive baseball. And that's what the Yankees needed to clean up. And so far, this early part of the season, as we touched on, it's only been 10 games or so, whatever, but they're showing that. I'm excited. I'm going to the game next weekend. I will be in Tampa to watch the Yankees play the Tampa Bay Rays. They have 3 more games with Oakland this week. And then they have Tampa over the weekend. That's another week of just getting fat, building your record. Oakland, Vegas, whatever. They're not a good team. Tampa's starting off a little bit slow. Obviously, Tampa always gives us fits, so I'm interested in that series. But as you touched on, brother, the rotation has been phenomenal, and we haven't gotten Rodon yet. We haven't gotten Cole yet. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Withers. I'm really not, I'll be honest. He had a decent start in San Francisco. Rocky started against his former team in Miami. I think that was more the adrenaline of pitching against his former team. I'm not a big fan of him. I know he can throw some gas, but I'm just not crazy about him. But as a 4th, 5th guy in the rotation, he's not that bad either. But you just got to love what the Yankees are getting out of these guys. I'm excited. As of this recording, we're going to get Max Fried today. I'm a little bummed out. Wait, I might be able to get a Cam Schlittler. The way the rotation's going, I hope Cam Schlittler's in line to play to pitch that Saturday game that I'm going to. But that ought to be fun. But right now, it's not really much to cover when it comes to the Yankees. But just that the Yankees are playing good baseball, and we're happy to see it. If there's any, like I said, if there's any concerns that I have, is Camilo Doval. But as we said, it's so early in the season, he can get it going. And the bullpen's been phenomenal so far. Bednar's been good. And there's really nothing to complain about the Yankees. But as you said, brother, they will give us something to complain very soon. It's probably after these comments are out in the universe and people are watching it, Yankees would do something to piss me off.
Maybe after today, after Fried start. After Fried start, at least.
Yeah. So But guys, you let us know in the comments below about the Yankees. What are you guys thinking about the Yankees rotation, starting lineup, how we just playing overall, and Giancarlo Stanton becoming more athletic? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, guys, to hit a thumbs up and like, share, and subscribe, guys. We got to 200 subscribers. We're over 200 now. We thank you so much. And super producer Dave, I know he can agree when I say this. We are generally appreciative of having plus 200 subscribers because we, as the Ozone, we're not botting. Our followers on our social media platforms are people who know us. They're real. We do not go on apps to inflate our numbers. We are not doing any of that. This is genuine people who are watching our stuff, that are following us, and we are super appreciative of that. And we thank you guys for rocking with us. And, we appreciate it. But, guys, we cannot wrap up an episode without sharing the highlight of the week. And this one was a doozy. Roll it.
He's on fire!
Alrighty, y'all. This is highlight of the week. And it's going out to Los Angeles Angels outfielder Joe Adell, because he robs not one, not two, but 3 home runs in the same game, with the final one where the man damn near leaps into the crowd of the people. What an amazing... And brother, we had a highlight of the week already in the holster. We were going to go with the Cody Bellinger, the catch where popped off his glove and got it. But after that performance from Joe Adell, 3 robberies, 3 home run robberies. And the most compelling thing about it all, brother, his team won the game 1-0. You want to talk about impact, defensive impact on a game. For those right now, we just finished the Yankees segment talking about efficient defense, fundamental defense. And that helps David Stern's argument he had going into the offseason. Run prevention. That is a prime example of all of those things. Joe Adell single-handedly won that game for his team as they won 1-0. It should have been 3-1, but his defensive skills, robbing those 3 home runs, won his team the game.
Brother, one is
crazy,
exciting enough. One is exciting enough, right? Then the second one, but the final one is the best one of all.
The final boss catch.
That one I'm gonna clip again, and again and again. And I'm using the poster that they have here too.
But
I think I might try to find
Crawford's reaction. Crawford's reaction with the third one, the third catch, was just like amazed. Like, you gotta be effing me.
This is amazing.
As a fan of Seattle, I'm like, you can't make this up. Like,
this is truly deserving of the highlight of the week. I just wish the Angels played better. Yeah,
it's just right. Like, if obviously it got a lot of coverage, had he been a Yankee player, or if it was Ohtani, they would have threw the parade. They would have threw a parade. But shout out to Joe Adell. That was an amazing, amazing performance. And
if it was Ohtani, they would have removed the show cover right now with Aaron Judge and put Ohtani right now.
Which, surprisingly, I have not bought yet. Have you bought the show yet?
No. I've gotten to a point with Sports Game where I'm just going to wait a couple of years before I buy another one because the yearly releases are killing me.
Yeah, I you know what my thing is that, and I've noticed that I buy it when it comes out. I play it for a month, and then I stop. I can't tell you the last time I played 2K.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do it. I might skip this one. I might. Or I might wait till it goes on sale or something.
Wait for the sale, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll wait for the sale and then just play my franchise mode. People, whatever. But that was very MLB like catches. MLB the show like catches. So shout out to Joe Adell. But guys, as we touched on, we thank you guys for your support, man. Getting to 200 subs is big for us. and follow us too. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, we've posted some videos. Amari Stoudemire, congratulations to Amari Stoudemire making the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. We made a video on that for those that some people feel that he's not, not deserving of that. That's a conversation within itself. But we made a video about that. And this is where we got our daily Knicks news, Yankee schedule, Yankee results, Mets, and that sort of thing. So it's important, guys, to follow us on our social media platforms. We are available on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Reddit. Guys, remember to hit that thumbs up, hit the alert button, guys, so you are tapped in when we have a new episode that drops every Wednesday at 5 p.m. because there's times where life be life and we might have to drop an episode on a Thursday or Friday or whatever the case may be. We are gearing up for the Knicks postseason, as we touched on. Barring any last-minute situations that were to occur right now with the Mets and the Yankees, next week's episode is going to be solely on the New York Knicks. We will be recapping the season. Basically what we liked, what we didn't like. We'll give out player awards to who we thought was the most valuable, the most improved Knick. We will talk about what we expect from our Knicks this postseason, and we will be previewing the matchup. Depending on the seeding, I think, it looks like the Knicks might stay at third. We'll know who the matchup is when the season ends on Sunday. So we will be previewing that as well because the episode will air on a Wednesday, and the Knicks postseason will start that weekend. So, brother, we gearing up, and we also got a WrestleMania preview show. So it's going to be a jam-packed couple weeks here at the Ozone. So that's even more important to tap in with your boys and be on the ends with what we're doing. So go ahead, brother.
Just before you just send us off real quick, brother, I also want to echo my sentiments. Thank you guys for once again sending us to 200 subscribers. We're, I think, like you said, a little bit over that now. I put out a statement of how I feel and the appreciation that I have for everyone who, not only the people that know us, but the people who send it to other people that like sports and just tell them, hey, follow our guys. They cover sport. I appreciate everything, and let's go and get 250 now. I love you guys. Let's get to 250. Omar, send us off.
Let's get it to 250, and we're gonna get there. But we'll get there maybe next week. We'll get there before next week. I don't know, but all I know is we see you guys next Wednesday where we'll deliver the fire. Peace.
Turn it up, yeah, the tone stay polling. If it's New York sports, welcome to the Ozone. Woo. Welcome to the Ozone. Same city, New Year, same pressure, new tone, New York, boys loud, it's the Ozone.